Honorable Speaker, I beg to lay the following papers on the table of the House today, Thursday, August 8, 2024. Annual reports and financial statements of Kenya Tourism Board for the period ended 30th June 2022 from the Ministry of Tourism and Wildlife. 2, reports of the Auditor General and financial statements of the National Government Constituency Development Fund, NGCDF, for the year ended 30th June 2023, and the certificates therein in respect of the following constituencies: Baringo North, Budalangi, Eldama Ravine, Emurua Dikir, Galole, Kajiado East, Kajiado South, Kigumo, Kilgoris, Kilifi North, Kipipiri, Kitui South, Kuresoi North, Kuria East, Machakos, Magarini, Masinga, Mathioya, Mboni, Molo, Mwala, Mwatate, Narok South, Ndia, Njoro, and Rongai. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Chairperson, Departmental Committee on Social Protection.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I beg today the following papers on the table of the House today, Thursday, 8th August 2024. Reports on the Departmental Committee on Social Protection on consideration of the Institute of Social Workers Professionals Bill, National Assembly number 17 of 2023, and 2, review of the budget implementation for the financial year 2022/2023 for the following State Department and Constitutional Commission. Vote 1, vote 1185, State Department for Youth Affairs and Creative Economy. Vote 1214, State Department for Social Protection and Senior Citizen Affairs. 3, vote 1213, State Department for Public Service, National Youth Service. And 4, vote 2141, National Gender and Equality Commission. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Next.
Order number 6, notices of motion.
Chairperson, Departmental Committee on Social Protection.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I beg to give notice of the following motion, that this House adopt the report of the Departmental Committee on Social Protection on the review of budget implementation for the year 2023-2024 for the following votes read on the table of the House on Thursday, 8th August 2024. 1, vote 1185, State Department for Youth Affairs and Creative Economy. 2, vote 1214, State Department for Social Protection and Senior Citizens Affairs. 3, vote 1213, State Department for Public Service, National Youth Service. And 4, vote 2141, National Gender and Equality Commission. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Lusuli.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
I thought you were Frederick Ikana.
Lusuli is also my name, Mr. Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I beg to give notice of the following motion, that this House adopts the joint report of the Diaspora Affairs and Migrant Workers Committee and the Departmental Committee on Defense, Intelligence and Foreign Relations on its inspection visit to Kenyan embassies in Ottawa, Canada from 18th to 23rd September 2023, laid on the table of the House on Thursday, 5th December 2023. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Ikana. Next.
Order number 7, questions and statements.
Honorable Mark Mwenje.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. This is a request for a statement regarding fire incidents in Nairobi County. Honorable Speaker, pursuant to the provisions of Standing Order 44-2C, I wish to request for a statement from the chairperson of the Departmental Committee on Administration and Internal Security regarding the fire incidents in 4 markets within Nairobi City County. Honorable Speaker, in the recent past, several markets in Nairobi have been affected by devastating fires. These incidents highlight the recurring issues of market fires in Nairobi, which occasion substantial financial losses and raise concerns on safety measures and emergency response by the government. These incidences have a profound impact on local traders, many of whom have lost their livelihoods and are now seeking assistance to rebuild their businesses. Honorable Speaker, on Friday, 2nd of August, the market adjacent to Thika Road Mall was destroyed by fire. The following day, Honorable Speaker, on Saturday, 3rd August, Toy Market in Kibra constituency, Umoja 2 Open Air Market in Embakasi West constituency, Madare 4A Market in Madare constituency, and Kayole Market next to Naivas in Embakasi Central constituency were all simultaneously destroyed by fires that raged between the hours of 4 a.m. and 6 a.m. On the same day, at varying times, Honorable Speaker, in Kibondeni Market in Kawangware and Bondeni Market in Kibra constituency were also affected by fires. Honorable Speaker, it is against this background that I request for a statement from the chairperson of the Departmental Committee on Administration and Internal Security on the following. A detailed report on the investigations conducted to determine the cause of the fires in the above-mentioned areas, the relief measures that the government is putting in place to support the traders who lost their livelihoods, and any compensation plan in place, and finally, the long-term plans being implemented to protect markets in the Nairobi region. Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I believe there is a member, Beatrice Elachi, who is also here, who perhaps...
Once you ask for a statement and you finish, you sit down. You have no business soliciting for anybody to speak to it.
Honorable Speaker.
You just let whoever wants to ride on your statement as a joy rider request, but you don't solicit for anybody. Yes, Elachi, you are the joy rider.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, on a light note. But, Mr. Speaker, it is true that indeed we would wish the chairman also to look at the issue if the market is banned, then what happens? Because we want to see now the markets, the counties being able to ensure we have perimeter walls on these markets. And since members of the markets know themselves, for example, in Toy Market, they have been there for many years, for more than 20, 30 years. They know each other. If we can do them an open market that is more favorable and ensure every person gets, then that will be better. So for me, Mr. Speaker, we are requesting the governor of Nairobi to look at these markets at a serious note and to ensure every person who has now become a victim of this is also supported so that they can restart their businesses. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Mama Dagoretti. Tongoyo, this is to you. How soon can you bring a response? Give Honorable Tongoyo the mic.
I appreciate, and first I want really also to really apologize for the families and the members who were victim of the same. But Mr. Speaker, you noted that I've got quite a number of piling and responded statements. And the reason being given by the ministries, majority of these are given by the officers who have been trying to calm the situation. So I will kindly ask to have it responded in 2 weeks so that I address to the more urgent and the previous ones next week.
Next week? 2 weeks?
2 weeks on this particular one.
Okay.
Yes.
Mwenje, 2 weeks? Okay. Honorable Lillian Sioi. Not present. Response to, before we come to response, Honorable Tandaza. give Honorable Tandaza.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, pursuant to the provisions of Standing Order 44 2C, I rise to request for a statement from the chairperson of the Departmental Committee on Transport and Infrastructure regarding the compensation of residents of Southern Bypass, commonly known as Dongokundu. Honorable Speaker, the Dongokundu Road serves as a crucial bypass which connects Miritini and Kwale County with 3 bridges. To pave way for constructing the road, several residents surrendered their land with a legitimate expectation for compensation. In spite of the strategic nature of the bypass, which has lessened the time spent driving between Miritini Standard Gauge Railway Station to Diani from 2.5 hours to approximately 45 minutes, it is saddening that approximately 1.4 billion shillings that was meant for compensation was halted and is yet to be paid to the remaining beneficiaries. The situation is worsened by the fact that the road is now open and operational, making the residents uncertain about the status of their compensation. Honorable Speaker, it is against this background that I seek a statement from the chairperson of the Departmental Committee on Transport and Infrastructure on the following. 1, a comprehensive report on the number of persons whose land was acquired for construction of the bypass, the number already compensated and the status of compensation of the remaining beneficiaries, and 2, reasons for the delay and the timelines for remittances of the remaining beneficiaries, noting that the road is already in use. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Tandaza. Chair, Roads and Transport. Simba, you are the Vice Chair or a member of the committee?
I am Honorable Badi Twalib. I'm not Honorable Bezimba.
Bezimba was standing in front of you.
No, he has just come to me to consult on a certain matter.
Okay,
as a ranking member, you know, very many people need to consult me before doing anything. Honorable Speaker.
Okay, but Twalib, the ranking member.
Okay, Honorable Speaker, as a member of Transport Committee, I am very much aware about that road, because that road starts from my constituency.
The only thing I
want on behalf of the chairman,
yes,
Transport Committee, Honorable Speaker, in 2 weeks' time, we're going to give him a reply on this.
2 weeks?
2 weeks' time.
So that, thank you. Yes, Tandaza? Honorable Tandaza?
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I think 2 weeks will be too long, given that we expect this road to be officially opened anytime. And once it's officially opened, I'm really worried about how we'll be able again to follow up the matter of compensation. So I think 2 weeks is too long, Honorable Speaker.
Yes, Nyamai?
Honorable Speaker.
Give the mic to Honorable Nyamai.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. I agree with the statement that it is urgent, among other roads that are already in use. That are already being used, like Kibwezi-Kitui Road, Mr. Speaker, that compensation has not been done, that needs to be addressed urgently. Honorable Speaker, I was wondering whether this matter will also touch on National Land Commission, and the Vice Chair for Lands Committee is in the House. So I was just wondering whether it may touch on NLC, Honorable Speaker. I'm just asking for your guidance on that.
Okay, who is the Vice Chair of Lands Committee? Jen Kiara, I saw you.
Yes, I was raising my hand, Mr. Speaker, because this is a matter before us, yes, as a committee. So it should have been directed to the Lands Committee. His question should have been directed to the Lands Committee, so then we can follow up with the National Land Commission.
Honorable Tandaza, have you misdirected your request?
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. As a matter of fact, I'm aware that all the funds for these roads are with the National Land Commission. But of course, from the table office, that is the way it was done. But I'm aware the National Lands Commission have all the funds as we stand here.
I direct that despite the enthusiasm of Badi Twalib, the question be directed to the Committee on Lands to deal with it. So Jen, can you have the answer here by Thursday next week?
Mr. Speaker, will do. Thank you.
Thank you. Beatrice Elach. Honorable Beatrice Elach.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise to request for a statement regarding the arrest and deportation of 36 Ugandans from Kisumu, Kenya, pursuant to Standing Order 44-2C. I rise to request for a statement from the chairperson of the Departmental Committee on Defense, Intelligence, and Foreign Relations regarding the arrest and deportation of 36 Ugandans from Kisumu, Kenya. Honorable Speaker, the 36 Ugandans believed to be members of the Forum of Democratic Change, FDC party, had been lawfully admitted into Kenya to participate in a leadership training program in Kisumu County. However, on the 23rd July 2024, armed individuals believed to be a combination of Ugandan and Kenyan security personnel allegedly assaulted and arrested the individuals and immediately deported them to Uganda, where they were charged with terrorism-related offenses at the Nakawa Chief Magistrate's Court. It is of great concern that despite having been lawfully admitted into the country, the Ugandans were deported without a legal basis, paid Ugandan nationals, exacerbates the risk likely to be faced by them at home due to their divergent political opinions. Honorable Speaker, it is against this background that I request for a statement from the chairperson of the Departmental Committee on Defense, Intelligence, and Foreign Relations on the following. Details on the circumstance that led to the arrest and deportation of the 36 Ugandans who are believed to be members of the Forum of Democratic Change, FDC party, and whether there were any extradition orders providing clearance for their deportation. A report on treaties, if any, signed between the government of Kenya and international communities, including the East African Community.
Start last week.
Yes, Mheshimiwa Raida.
Bwana Spika, Bwana Chairman hafai kudanganya hili bunge. Generator imekuwa
Bwana Spika, mimi nakuwa na huruma kwa chairman wa stima kwa sababu yale mwenyekiti wa stima, kwa sababu yale Mheshimiwa Rueda anauliza, wewe ni mbunge mwenzako. Uwezi kuwa unaitisha yale mambo unaitisha kwamba yeye afanye na ni mjumbe mwenzako. Yeye ametumwa, amekuja na habari ile uliitisha. Kwa hivyo tusaidie mheshimiwa aweze kufuatilia vile unataka ili mambo yaweze kufanyika. Hawezi kuwa anaelewa kwamba hiyo chombo cha stima generator imekaa kule kwa zaidi ya mwezi miwili. Hawezi kujua ni mjumbe mwenzako. Kwa hivyo
order mheshimiwa Bukoso, wewe unapotosha bunge. Mheshimiwa Kawaya ni mbunge, tena amepewa jukumu kuwa mwenyekiti, na majukumu yake ni kuhakikisha ya kwamba yale wabunge wanaulizwa anapeleka kwa wizara, anatafuta majibu na analeta hapa majibu sawa sawa. Yes. Bwana Kawaya.
Mr. Speaker, I want to say that I'm equal to this particular task, and my statement has remained clear. The statement I brought before this House was that the challenge of transporting this generator was, one, the issue of impassable roads, which up to date remain impassable to deliver the generators by road. Number two, the issue of security, in which case I can provide a letter to this House
that the ministry had engaged the services of the Navy. Mr. Speaker, when these challenges were noted by the ministry went ahead to start procurement of a contractor to transport this particular generator by sea. This process started a long time ago. It did not start yesterday. It is only that was completed yesterday. And therefore, I don't think it is fair for the member to say that I, the honorable member for Mwala, I am lying. I am not lying. You can look at the procurement details for the services to transport this particular generator. They started long time ago, but the process has been accelerated. It is true when, Mr. Speaker, you gave the orders that the process must be accelerated.
Yes, Donya, on the same issue.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. What Honorable Reda is saying about the chairman not giving the correct information, it's not with her alone. I've also requested for a statement in this house, and I've not been told the correct information, which later the speaker told me that I wait for the minister to come and then it can be clarified. So, Mr. Speaker, from my perspective, I think the CSS should be answering those questions by themselves. That's when we can ask question after question, because it's not the first time they're not telling the truth. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, Honorable Russell.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, the town of Marsabit is served with generators. At one time, we did not have those generators for 3 months. So what this House must do, and this is what also chairman must do, once a question is raised, yes, we know chairmen are members of the House. We need to work as a team, because when a place goes without electricity for 3 months, there are children there, there are old men and women there, there are hospitals there. Many facilities are likely to go down. Whereas we cannot apportion any blame on the chairman, I think the chairman in this House have a responsibility, because they are the first point of call. Their calls are likely to be picked much faster than those of other ordinary members. So for that reason, it is also wrong for Kiunga, one of the oldest villages in the coast, that up to now it is served by generator. It is really wrong. Whereas I don't want to support any position standing here, it is important that many of these settlements should be on-grid, really not on off-grid, where actually independent power producers are milking this country dry. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Give McClap the mic.
Mr. Speaker, one of those members of parliament who did public participation all the way to Lamu East. Mr. Speaker, it is only you and who can intervene for Captain Rueda. That part of Kenya, Mr. Speaker, requires what is called affirmative quick decisions. That part of Kenya, Mr. Speaker, that is not connected to tarmac and electricity, and they go in blackout for about 3 months, is a disaster. Mr. Speaker, I call upon you to intervene. We even convert this thing from being a statement answered by the chair for energy to actually a question and have the minister answer this matter here, so that the issues of Lamu East can be part of Kenya, Mr. Speaker. That part of the country requires attention and prioritization in all matters, and attention for this country, Mr. Speaker.
Members, you know, now we have cabinet and the majority leader who is here. we'll start arranging for ministers to come here to respond to questions. But as we do so, Honorable Kawaya, Lamu is a special area. It's a serious security challenged area. And you know we've had serious difficulties of abductions, attacks by Al-Shabaab terrorists, and so on. Even for security operations alone, you need electricity. Can you report back to this House on Wednesday afternoon that in fact the generator has been transported, installed, and is working? I don't believe that you can take 2 months procuring transport to ferry a generator from Mukowe to Kiunga. I don't believe so. So it's not your mistake, but those who are giving you information are being economical with the truth. Just make sure that by Wednesday you tell us that the generator, the procurement that has taken 2 months, has finally transported the generator, installed, and is working. Yes, give the Honorable Chairman.
Mr. Speaker, thank you for the direction. I just wanted to point out that your orders have been implemented. The statement by the member did not refer to a new generator. It referred to restoration of power, which was occasioned by a faulty generator, which has since then been repaired, and as we speak is in Kiunga being assembled, and Kiunga will be lit today. Mr. Speaker, the other matter of a new generator is actually an initiative by the ministry after considering that Kiunga cannot be served by the small generator alone, that a new generator has been procured to assist the existing one. And therefore, Mr. Speaker, I will appear before this House next week as directed to report on progress with the new generator, but by today, Kiunga will be lit, as it has been lit before.
What you'll bring to the House, Honorable Kawaya, is not progress. Information that the generator has been moved from Mukowe to Kiunga and installed.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
You are not bringing any progress.
Most obliged, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. Lilian Sioi.
Thank you, Speaker. I stand to request for a statement regarding delay in processing of medical insurance approvals for the Kenya police officers. Honorable Speaker, pursuant to the provision of Standing Order 44-2C, I wish to request for a statement from the chairperson of the Departmental Committee on Health on the delay in the pre-authorization process for medical insurance approvals for the Kenya police officers. Honorable Speaker, the Medical Administrator Kenya Limited, MACL, established in 2018 to address gaps in health insurance administrations, oversees the medical insurance scheme for various public servants, including the Kenya Police Service. In April 2024, MACL announced changes in the administration of the police medical insurance scheme, including replacement of CIC insurance with APA insurance as the lead insurer of the scheme. Since this transition, there has been an alarming surge in complaints from police officers concerning significant delays in obtaining insurance approvals to access treatment. Additionally, the health service providers listed in the medical scheme have also reported that the delays in obtaining insurance approvals have led to the disruption in provision of healthcare services to police officers. These delays pose health risks to our officers, especially those who require urgent medical attention. The situation raises concern about the effectiveness of the current medical scheme in meeting the healthcare needs of our police forces, who play a crucial role in maintaining law and order, often at great personal risk. It is therefore imperative that they have access to prompt and efficient healthcare services. Honorable Speaker, It is against this background that I request for a statement from the chairperson of Departmental Committee on Interior on the following. 1, a detailed report indicating the number of police officers who have received health care services under the revised insurance scheme since April 2024, including a breakdown of approval awaiting times. Number 2, reasons for the excessive delays in insurance approval processes for police officers. 3, immediate measures the relevant government agency is implementing to address and expedite approvals for critical medical cases affecting police officers. And 4, long-term plans being implemented to address these challenges, including the possibilities of changing the medical service provider. I thank you, Honorable Speaker, and I really wanted a motion on this, Mr. Speaker, because it is something that is very crucial for our police officers. But I was told it will take long, and that is why I chose to put a question.
Thank you, Tongoyo. Give him the mic.
2 weeks.
2 weeks. So be it. Social protection. Alice Nganga to the statement sought by Mayaka. Is Mayaka in the room, in the chamber? The questioner is not here.
So
You'll do it next week? Next order? Okay. Majority Leader, your Thursday statement.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Pursuant to the provisions of Standing Order 44-2A, I rise to give the following statement on behalf of the House Business Committee, which met on Tuesday, 6th August 2024 to prioritize business for consideration during the week. Honorable Speaker, members should take note that the House further varied its calendar yesterday and is set to commence its long recess on Friday, 16th August 2024. That is next week. And resume its regular sittings for the third part of the third session on Tuesday, 17th September 2024. This extension will allow the House to finalize with consideration of the remaining cabinet nominees within the set timelines and also conclude any other urgent business pending before it. I therefore urge all members and committees to conclude any urgent matters before them and ensure that there is smooth transaction of all priority business before the recess begins at the end of next week. Honorable Speaker, with regards to business for Tuesday next week, the House is expected to consider the second reading of the following bills, if not concluded today. A, the County Government Additional Allocations Bill, Senate Bill number 19 of 2024. B, the Coffee Bill, Senate Bill number 10 of 2023. And C, the Equalization Fund Administration Bill, Senate Bill number 14 of 2023. Additionally, Honorable Speaker, debate will also be undertaken on the following motions, should they not be concluded today. 1, report on the consideration of the inspection visit to the semi-autonomous institutions of the East African Community in Uganda. 2 is a report on enhancing reporting of parliamentary business on online platforms. 3, report on the consideration of the consolidated fund services expenditures for the supplementary estimates 1 for the financial year 2024-2025. 5, report on consideration of a public petition on funds spent contrary to the provisions of Article 223 of the Constitution. 5, report on the implementation status of reports on petitions and resolutions passed by the House. 6, report on the alleged unfair trade practices by foreign investors in Kenya. 7, second report on employment diversity audit in public institutions. And 8, report of the extraordinary session of the 6th Pan-African Parliament, PAP. Honorable Speaker, we also scheduled to have for the first reading the Livestock Bill of 2024, the Livestock Bill, National Assembly Bill number 34 of 2024. And Honorable Speaker, as indicated in the House Business Committee, I have since written to the Principal Secretary, the State Department of Livestock, asking the PS, or rather the Permanent Secretary to, or rather, we got the approval of the House Business Committee, Honorable Speaker, this Tuesday to stay the first reading of this bill and any further consideration of the bill to allow the ministry to conduct sensitization of the public and stakeholders on the contents of the bill and the policy underpinning this bill. Honorable Speaker, as you are aware, this bill was to appear for first reading and further consideration by the committee, and we since agreed that the ministry needs to do further sensitization to members of the public, because there has been a lot of propaganda online, and we may see this bill suffer the same fate as the Finance Bill of 2024, being demonized with a lot of untruths. And therefore, I have since written to the Principal Secretary to conduct further public sensitization. And upon completion of this sensitization process, we shall await their further guidance on the bill, on whether they want to proceed with it in its current form, or there are things out of the public sensitization process that they will need to reconsider. And they will inform us in due course. Finally, Honorable Speaker, in conclusion, the House Business Committee will reconvene on Tuesday, 13th August 2024 to schedule business for the rest of that week. I now wish to lay this statement on the table of the House, as I also lay on the table of the House the letter addressed to the Principal Secretary, State Department of Livestock Development, staying the first reading and further consideration of the Livestock Bill, pending that sensitization program by the ministry. Honorable Speaker, allow me to say the sensitization process that we have asked the ministry to do is informed by what the experiences we had with the Finance Bill. That, Honorable Speaker, we have seen, as has been considered by His Excellency the President, ministries author bills, send those bills to the House and abandon them. They do not take time to sensitize members of the public on the policies underpinning those bills. Honorable Speaker, when then people read things and interpret them in their own way, some that may not be very accurate and correct, they misinform members of the public and use whatever has been published to incite members of the public. And we have seen a lot of misinformation and disinformation being peddled online about this livestock bill, and I have engaged the Principal Secretary and the Ministry of Livestock Development. They have clarified a number of things, but we are asked them to engage all the stakeholders, even those who have been spreading the falsehoods and misinformation online, so that they get to understand the policies underpinning the publication of that bill before it comes to us for consideration, so that our ministries, before they get bills being considered by the House, they will have engaged with stakeholders, they will have made it known to members of the public what policies underpin the bills that are being published and being brought to this House, Honorable Speaker, so that Parliament does not bear the brunt of all the things that are being brought, and the owners of those particular bills are not explaining to the public what is it that they want to achieve. And many of the provisions in these bills are for the betterment of our country and for the good of the same public, Honorable Speaker. But when the public get misinformed and disinformed, they then get to demonize Parliament and imagine that Parliament comes up with all these bills, Honorable Speaker. And therefore, we want the ministries, in line with what the President has said, that they must take ownership of even communication within their own state departments. And that's why we've asked the State Department for Livestock to make sure that they own up to everything that is provided for in this bill, by going back to the public, sensitize the public on each and every clause in that bill, the policies underpinning each of the provisions in the bill. Then they send it back to us in whatever form they will send it back to us for further consideration by the House, including the public participation, Honorable Speaker, that we normally do as a House. And you have seen, Honorable Speaker, with the social health insurance fund bills, or the health bills, what the courts have said when they nullified those bills, that there ought to have been more sensitization. Unfortunately, Honorable Speaker, and I don't know why the courts would have taken that direction, the courts told Parliament to sensitize members of the public. Parliament cannot sensitize members of the public. It is owners of the bills in the ministry, and we've also asked the Ministry of Health to go back and sensitize members of the public on the policies and provisions of the 4 bills or the 3 bills that were nullified by the High Court. They then sent them back to us for public participation. The public participation program is the only opportunity that Parliament has to engage with the members of the public and get feedback from the people on whatever they have been sensitized by the owners of the bill. With that, Honorable Speaker, I beg to lay the statement.
Thank you, Majority Leader. Next.
Order number 8, the County Government's Additional Allocations Bill, Senate Bill number 19 of 2024, second reading.
Honorable members, I'm told the chairperson of Budget and Appropriations Committee has sent word that the report is not ready until Tuesday. So next order.
Order number 9, motion, inspection visit to semi-autonomous institutions of the East African Community in Uganda. Resumption of debate.
Who was on the floor? Wanjiku, had you finished?
I wasn't, but I am sure it was remaining few minutes.
You are truncated by quorum.
Yes.
Yes.
For the second day.
Yes.
So if the clerk can confirm to me how many minutes?
How many minutes are left for the chair? 16. You have 16 minutes to go.
Okay.
You are not obliged to exhaust them.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Yes.
In a nutshell, I had already spoken of the institutions visited, and I had enumerated several observations from the committee. One which I would want to repeat because I see the House is quite full today is the communication challenges. Honorable Speaker, we have Northern Corridor and Central Corridor, and anytime you are in the Central Corridor, we experience challenge of communication is too expensive, and we are hoping that the partner states in the Central Corridor will be able to fasten and fast-track that policy so that the communication in the whole of the region can be very easy. The other issue which I may want to highlight is the air transport, which, Honorable Speaker, we know